Welcome to the Full Circle team. Thank you so much for joining us, and we are stoked to have you. I already went over our core values and our mission, so now I'm going to tell you a little about what you need for your first day and just some general knowledge stuff. So first off, the dress code, right? Your first day, just come in wearing stuff that you're ready to work in. But what will get you on the first day is pink shirt. We need khaki pants. You have about a week after you start to get khaki pants. Those are very important because it's part of the look. And then some form of work boots, and you're probably going to want to have some form of running shoes as well, in case you're for when you're mowing and stuff, because you're moving a lot. So something to landscape with, something to mow with. I would recommend keeping them both in your car. And then you'll get the Full Circle undershirts as well, or not the undershirts, but the short sleeve shirts, long sleeve shirts also. We also have ball caps and then beanies, and no other headdress stuff really, unless without the permission of your supervisor. Other than that, make sure you're just looking professional, right? We don't want somebody looking like they're ragtag or somebody that's just looks like they haven't showered for a couple days or anything crazy, because we do talk to our customers and we want to present a professional image. So if they have other questions, obviously ask your supervisor, your GM. So when you show up every day, what you're going to need is breakfast, if you don't eat breakfast at home, because you're going to be hungry, lunch, and then about a gallon of water. I'd recommend a gallon. You might find that you don't drink a gallon, but definitely bring a gallon, especially when it gets hot out here. Sunblock, really important. You don't want to get burned. I tend to wear long sleeve shirts when it's hot out. Unless it's crazy humid or something, because keeps your skin protected. But if you're not going to do that, make sure you have sunblock. Sunglasses or eye protection. We will provide eye protection. Our eye protection is clear, so it does work great to protect your eyeballs, but it's not that great against the sun. I'd totally recommend sunglasses. It's way easier. Now make sure, remember, when you're talking to customers, take your sunglasses off, because it's more personal. You can see their eyes. They can see your eyes. Everything's good. But when you're working stuff, we'd recommend sunglasses, and always have eye protection on when you're doing stuff that requires eye protection. Ear protection, right? When you're working, let me go ear protection and music. Music, totally allowed, right? One earbud in, especially if you're working with somebody else. You have one earbud in, it's out of respect for them, and that way you can hear stuff going on. If somebody's walking, somebody's doing something, that way you just have situational awareness, and it's out of respect for your teammates. If you're working by yourself, feel free to put 2 earbuds in. I wouldn't really recommend it, but you totally can. Or if there's an ear protection case where you're working around that equipment with mowers or whatever, of course, then you can have 2 earplugs in or the over your headphones on as well. Then you also need to be well rested, right, and have a good attitude. So well rested, because you're going to be doing a lot of hard work, and the way P4P works, if you're working slow and your team workers are working fast, you're going to make them make less money, which is bad. So everybody needs to be well rested and ready to get after it. The last thing, like I was saying, is attitude. Have a good attitude, or fake it till you make it. If you show up with a bad attitude, that's not how we do things here at Full Circle. That's not being a team player, and that's just not fitting our core values. So you need to show up with at least a fake good attitude. Now we'll get into what happens when you show up. All right, so here's what happens when you show up to Full Circle. First thing you're going to do is you're going to pull in from our entrance. That's the entrance to this yard right here. You're going to pull in, and our GM is going to, or the GM is going to be standing somewhere near the entrance, and he'll tell you where to park. Because we have 3 different rows here, a couple rows here. He'll tell you what team you're on and where you're going to park for the day, and kind of give you any updates you need. Now this needs to happen before 7, so 6:59 or before. When the clock strikes 7, you are officially late. I don't care if you're late for 1 second or 10 minutes. The same thing is everybody's a team player here, and it shows you don't care about your team. It shows you don't care about the coworkers. Don't take the job seriously. So everybody needs to be on time and ready to go. So when you come in, obviously you're dressed up in uniform. And on Mondays and Wednesdays, and that subject to change in the future, but currently Mondays and Wednesdays we have team meetings. So we'll bring everybody, circle up, do the team meeting real quick. They should be about 5 minutes in the morning, just to make sure everybody's on the same page with everything. Updates, yellow slips, quick training things, anything like that. And then after that, everybody will hop in their truck, load up the tools for the day, make their plan, do their safety check and walk around. And then they will head out, and then the GM will talk to you on the way out as well, make sure you're all good with your job. So he'll be waiting at the gate. If you need him for something, make sure you see him at the gate, because you don't want to be pulling him off to the side and having him walk up here, and then somebody's trying to leave. It's a whole problem. The truck safety check, the other thing I'm going to go over right now is the truck safety check, because that's really important to do every morning. So first thing is, on the dashboard, if you see any warning lights, make sure to take a picture and send it to the GM, send it to the office, make sure that everybody knows what's going on with the truck so we can get it taken care of. Second thing, you're going to walk around, take a look, make sure all the tires have tread, and make sure all the tires have air. This includes the trailers. As I'm going to walk this way now, so as we look at the truck, right, this one's been dented. Try not to do that, but that has nothing to do with the morning check. Here, make sure everything's hooked up right. The way I know this is hooked up right, chains are crossed. We have our safety pin, or our breakaway pin, connected to the pin on the trailer, but not this pin side, because this will just pull out. That's bad, obviously. So we'll talk about that more in the trailer hookup video, but hooked up to something, right? We've got the lights hooked up. We are connected here with the pin for the trailer so that the hitch, the not going to come off the ball. That's pinned up good. The jack is all the way up. And what we'll do is we'll also check the lights. Once we start the truck out, turn the lights on in the truck, make sure the turn signals work, brake lights work as well. Coming around, trailers have air in them, and then if you actually want to pan over to here real quick, one thing I missed is this dump trailer is all the way down. If it's really cold and it gets really hot, the trailer will rise up a little bit, and then it'll shake around when you're driving. Very bad for the trailer, and it's super expensive. So make sure this is all the way down. Coming around the back of the trailer, this is when you'd have somebody start the truck up, give us our lights so we can see. We want to check turn signal, brake lights. Coming back here as well, we have our perm trailer plate. This needs to be bent down. Sometimes on these dump trailers especially, they get bent up, so make sure that you can see that from behind. This is not really strapped up how I'd like it to be. So, before I leave, I'm probably going to strap it up. I'm not going to make you guys wait and watch me do it right now, but I'm going to strap that up. Coming over here, you're going to check these tires, and you're going to make sure your load is actually tarped. In this case, it's the leaf box, so it just looks different. But coming around, once you get up here, you're going to have somebody also check the front of the truck, check headlights, check your blinkers on each side. They're going to check low beams, high beams, all that stuff. And then coming into the truck, you also just want to make sure everything's functioning, turn the wheel both ways, make sure nothing feels weird, make sure your brakes are working okay, and just do an overall inspection of the truck. It'll save you lots of headaches, and make sure everything is ready to go every day. And the same thing applies on the mower trailer and the mowers themselves even. But, like if, for example, you get in and you look and you see the mower's flat, when you get to your first house, it's going to be a problem. So we like to try to catch that stuff at the yard so we can deal with it then. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the morning routine. All right, it is the end of a long and sweaty and arduous work day. You are going to come in down there. That is, obviously you could pull up in the truck, take the truck all the way up. You're going to go all the way down, around, turn around, and then park the truck up there kind of. And you're going to come down here, back your cars out, get the cars out of the way on your team, park them along the entrance. So right along here. So where that car is, whoever parked that's not that bright. They get parked along the entrance there. So that way they're out of the way and other trucks can come in. And then once all the cars are moved, one person is going to go up and pull the truck down and park the truck where the cars were, for example, where this truck was. So this is an example of our truck we parked at the end of the day, inside the lines and ready to go. And then last thing you're going to do, or one of the last things you're going to do, is you're going to go in the truck and you actually need to clean it out for the next team. If you don't clean it out, your P4P will be docked because somebody else is going to now have to clean the truck out, and that's not fair to them, and it's not fair to really to anybody at the company to have to clean up after you. So make sure you clean up the inside of the truck and clean out any extra tools or any extra debris or anything in the back of the truck. Everything should be dumped at the end of the day. If you have a load in there, it needs to be dumped unless there's some extraneous reason why it's not. If you're going back to, let's say you're going back to the job the next day or something, but if there's no good reason to not dump the load, everything needs to be dumped at Sparks at the end of the day. Any additional tools you got in the container, let's say you were doing something with, I don't know, some special, post hole makers or something that we don't use very often and aren't part of the standard loadouts of the trucks. Those need to be taken out of the truck and put back in the container so not everything gets cluttered. Any broken tools should be, if any broken tools should just be put in the container, and then the replacement tool should be put in the truck. That way the trucks are always ready to go and everybody is able to do their job efficiently and make tons of money on pay for performance. Do's and don'ts at Full Circle. Think about this like a condensed version of the employee handbook. Obviously that's important. Obviously you're going to read through that with the GM, but let me go through some stuff real quick. First, never ever drive on a customer's lawn, right? That is always going to end poorly. Second, don't curse on a customer's property and make sure you always present professionally. Third, make sure you're using the right type of fuel. Now, this is a big one because if you put, this is a diesel truck, right? It says it on the gas cap, it says diesel, right? We put a note in there. If you put gas in the truck will blow up. If you put normal gas inside of a two-stroke engine, aka the little red fuel, you'll blow the thing up. It's bad, right? So we need to make sure we're using the right fuel and the right things. Fourth, never smoke or vape in the trucks or in uniform, right? Ever. And never ever get caught doing it, never be seen doing it. I don't care where you are or what's happening while you're here working, while you're in uniform. It is never acceptable to smoke or vape because it doesn't show off the professionalism that we need to show off, and it doesn't make our clients feel really happy about hiring us. Also, music, right? We all like music. We all like audiobooks. When you listen to something, if you're by yourself, 2 earbuds are okay. If it's loud noise, 2 earbuds are okay, or over-ear headphones. If somebody else is with you on the property, don't be disrespectful. 1 earbud. And I would recommend 1 earbud if there's nothing loud anyway, so that way you have situational awareness. But don't disrespect your coworkers. Make sure you only have 1 earbud in your ear if you are on a property with somebody else. Never ever wear headphones while driving. Not 1 earbud. Both ears need to be open while you're driving. Music in the truck needs to be, obviously you listen to music when you're driving, listen to talk radio, whatever, but you need to be able to hear things. If something is scraping or something on our truck, or if there's a siren or anything, you need to be able to hear that while you're driving. When you're driving trucks, make sure if you're plugging in something of your own, do not blast profanity. Music with profanity, music talking about anything that's not, you don't want your kids to hear, like very bad. Our customers are going to hear it and they're going to be put off by that. Other things, do not do additional work without getting permission from a customer, right? Customer comes out, they ask for additional work, right? Under 5 minutes for mowing and under 15 minutes for landscaping. Anything more than that, it's additional. Call the GM, or if you're curious, call the GM or the estimator to see what's going on and make sure that we're not doing work for free. Obviously, we want to take care of our customers, but we obviously also have a business to run and have our team to support, and we don't want you guys to lose all your P4P from doing stuff you shouldn't have been doing in the first place. Obviously, we have to be kind and not be rude to the team members, to customers, be respectful of the equipment and everything. It's almost a given, but just want to say that. And never, ever, 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 ever be lazy or late. Now, some things to make sure you do. Always leave the customer's property better than you found it. That's an easy one. Is the property better than when I found it? Yes, no. If the answer is no, then you should not leave that property. Right at the end of the day, if there's a pile of leaves and you're like, wow, this doesn't look good, you should pick it up before you leave. I know it's late, I know everybody's tired, but we need to make sure they look better than when we found it. If you break something, tell someone. Nobody cares here if you break something. I mean, as long as it was an accidental breakage. Nobody's like, oh, you made a mistake, we're gonna yell at you. No. But you will be severely, severely disciplined if you break something by accident, know you break it, and then leave it for the next person, right? Because we've got tons of equipment, then we don't know if you broke it on purpose or not. It's a whole other thing. So just make sure you're always honest, open, and communicative when you break something. And even if you do break something you shouldn't have broke or that you messed up doing, telling somebody about it's always the best way to do it, because you're being honest about your mistakes and you're admitting that you made a mistake. And the last thing that's really important to do is always ask questions and always make sure that you understand something. If you don't understand something, ask questions, call the GM, call the estimator, ask a teammate, because it's way better to ask first. I'd rather measure twice, cut once. I'd rather ask somebody something twice and then execute than do the whole wrong thing for a couple hours, or do the whole wrong thing on a job, or cut the shrub in half. Like, just make sure to always ask questions, always ask the customer, and that we're not, it'll save you way more stuff up front. Now, I'm sure there's more do's and don'ts in the employee handbook, and you're going to learn about them as you work here, but those are just some basic guidelines. Hopefully you find that helpful, and I will see you in the next one.